The people are waiting. Let's go.
Welcome to Lighting for Profits.
All light.
Powered by Emery Allen.
Get rid of your excuses.
Your number one source for all things landscape lighting.
That's where the magic can happen. You can really scale a business.
We really had to show up for each other.
From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
You're a scaredy cat salesman, Kurt.
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What do you think a hippo has to do with your business, Ryan?
Usually it's some weird childhood thing. Some bully kicked your butt.
I think the key factor here is trust.
Here is your host, Ryan Lee.
All right. Welcome. I'm your host of Lighting for Profits, powered by Emery Allen. And we are broadcasting live from the Landscape Lighting Secret Studios in Utah. But today, guess what? Today, we're the number one landscape lighting show in North Carolina. That's right. It's America's favorite, sometimes Canada's favorite landscape lighting show. So if you're looking to start or grow a landscape lighting business, and today, holiday lighting business, a permanent lighting business, anything lighting, you're going to want to stick around. We've got the one, the only Donovan Quesenberry coming on. He owns several businesses, but I'm going to introduce him as the owner of, or co-owner. I'm not even sure. I should have asked him before. Dang it. See, I always screw up. But he is a co-owner of CLC, Christmas Light Contractors. This guy has more energy than anyone you'll ever meet. And so we're going to find out what types of drugs he does and all sorts of really cool, fascinating things about him. But I'm really, really excited for today's show because when I found out about who Donovan was, I was immediately attracted to him. Not in that way. Just relax, calm down. But my wife still thinks it's weird that I meet guys online for a living. But I'm like, hey, it pays the bills, you know. So it's going to be a great show. So stick around. We're going to have him on in a couple minutes. I want to give you guys a reminder. I'm still hiring for a salesperson. So if you know someone who has the ability to work hard and wants to make a difference in the world and wants to make a lot of money, wants to work side by side with me, hit me up. Let me know. If you refer them to me, by the way, we'll hook you up with a cool $1,500 for a referral. So make sure that you mention they mention your name or whatever. We're also hiring other positions like an event CEO. We're hiring a training facility manager here in Utah. That one does have to be local, but like the event CEO, the salesperson, anywhere in the world, you can live anywhere. So hit me up. If you're struggling with your landscape lighting business and you're like, you know what, maybe I don't want to be an entrepreneur. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you don't want to be an entrepreneur. That's okay. Come work with me and we will change the world together. So looks like we got Brian Dank in the house. What's up, buddy? We will be doing the gift card giveaway today. And if you think you can bring down the champion, Brian Dank, then stick around because we've got that coming up here in a few as well. Let's see. Emery Allen, we got to thank them, right? All right, let's be honest. Were you really happy the way that your last job turned out? Was it okay, or do you think it was missing something? If I could drop a suggestion, mix it up. Do some A/B testing for your next job and give Emery Allen a try. They're confident you and your customers will be really happy with the final product. And listen, they've got the lowest VA, highest CRI, and a better experience of what you can expect with Emery Allen. So they offer so many choices in colors, wattages, beam spreads for almost any conceivable installation scenario with the expertise to back it up. I was hanging out with Tom this last week at the GIE. The guy is really a genius. He's got the answer to almost every question. So not only will you get quality product, but you're going to get quality support. So email Tom G at emeryallen.com if you want to get your account set up. He will hook you up. Mention you heard about him here on Lighting for Profits. You'll get the best pricing, the best service. Just email the owner, Tom Garber, his email right here, Tom G at emeryallen.com, and get your account set up today. Tom, his family, everyone over at Emery Allen, class act. They've been great to work with. I hear nothing but great things about them, so check them out. All right, guys, in just a couple minutes, we're going to have Donovan Quesenberry on. He owns several businesses, actually, so we'll talk about that. But before we have him on, I want to talk about something that was on my mind. And, you've heard of working smarter, not harder. Anyway, I've always preferred working harder. It's just easier for me. Like I do things all the hard way, I feel like. And as I'm trying to be a grown up, I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably there's probably a smarter way to do this. And lately I've been fascinated by this topic of leverage. And I want to talk about some levers that you guys can pull in your business that can really minimize your inputs to maximize your outputs. And I want to talk about this because the economy right now, almost everybody I talk to is like, man, what's up with the leads? Like the leads are drying up. It's a different year this year. And it's like, well, yeah, because the last few years we've been spoiled. And if you had a pulse in the last few years, you were successful in business, right? And there's a lot of people out there like, yeah, I don't need help. I mean, so it's just easy. And like, honestly, the last couple of years was kind of easy. But things are changing. Like how bad they're going to be, we don't know. How long it's going to last, we don't know. But you can feel it. Like things are happening, right? And so I want to talk about leverage. And I looked up the definition of leverage. And honestly, I was surprised. I couldn't really find a good definition. One thing said use something to maximum advantage. Another one said power effectiveness. I was like, okay, well, that's not the definition I was hoping for, like, because I've got this whole thing I wanted to talk about. So I came up with my own definition. And my definition was maximizing the results of your outputs with while. See, I this is why I don't come up with definitions, you guys. Um, Maximizing the results of your outputs while minimizing your inputs. That sounds better. And there's a lot of leverage you can pull in your business that, what's up, Dallas? Thanks for being here, man. Dallas is a young guy that actually attended Donovan's training and Jason, and now is like going to take over the world. So that's amazing. Um, so let's talk about some of the leverage you can pull in your business. And the idea here is, again, like work smarter, not harder. So there's a few levers. Number one, the first lever you can pull in your business is pricing. And there's, guys, if your pricing is here, you don't want to lower it because it's already here, right? So what you need to do is increase the value instead of lowering your price, right? So what are some things that you can do? Well, let's talk about one is the offer stack. So you can actually increase your offer. And now this is really good stuff because you have friends probably that own service businesses in your area. If not, you need to go create some friends that owns businesses that you guys can refer each other. That's like an easy way to pull that lever. But what you can do is say, hey, if you move forward with us today, you're not only going to get our great pricing, but I'm going to give you $250 off a irrigation checkup. I'm going to give you 10% off holiday lights. I'm going to give you 10% off gutter cleaning. I'm going to give you a 15% off window cleaning, and then put the value next to it. Like average value is $300, 600 savings, whatever. So they're seeing now this huge list of things where it's like they're getting like a $10,000 value if they move forward with you today, right? So that's an example of adding value instead of lowering your price. Another way that you can add value with pricing is a decoy offer. Okay. So imagine putting up an offer so big that your regular offer looks like peanuts, right? And that's what a decoy offer is coming up with an offer that's just so big that makes your offer seem so small. So you might, if you're selling holiday lighting and it's like $5,000, that seems like a lot to you or your client, whatever. Well, show them how you have a $25,000 option where you literally have this decked out amazing show, or you've got every single strand of their lawn lit, whatever it is, right? Make an offer so big that the other one seems just like peanuts, right? That's a decoy offer. There's also one, a PVO, premium value offer. This is something so big that most won't do. It's 5 to 10 times the price of your regular, but there's ballers out there. These are the people that will intentionally do things that others won't so that they can brag about it. They want to win the award for the neighborhood. They want to be the number one, like arrogant guy, whatever. They will spend 5 to 10 times just to prove a point, right? And so this is not your thing that you're marketing to everybody. This is for those people, right? Supply and demand pricing. So what's happening right now? Supply and demand, right? So you might have to shrink your pricing right now, but when things are good, raise those prices and you're going to charge the maximum penny that you can, right? Another one is maintenance plans. Are you selling maintenance plans? So landscape lighting is pretty easy to sell a $600 to $1,000 a year maintenance plan. So, you get 40 people on a maintenance plan paying, let's do the math here. You get 40 people paying you $800 a year. That's $32,000. You can just make money happen out of nowhere. That's only 40 people, you guys. So that's one lever you can pull in your business is pricing. And you can do that without spending more money on advertising. You don't have to like buy more trucks. You don't have to hire more people. You just have to work smarter, not harder. This is a lever you can pull in your business, right? Closing on the spot. So if you're not doing this, why not? Right. And a lot of people I talk to will say, well, I try to, but I always get the same objection. What's the objection? Well, I got to talk to my spouse. Like, so are you meeting with both of them in front of, like, are they in front of you? No. Well, that's a problem, right? They got to both be there. Otherwise you're wasting your time. And so my question is, if they're both not there, would you rather, some people are like, yeah, but then I got to work nights. So like, would you rather meet with like one decision maker at 3 p.m. and probably not get a deal, or meet with both decision makers at 8 o'clock at night and walk away with a check? Right. So there's no like clear cut answer to that. Like, some of you guys have to make your own decisions. If you've drawn the line in the sand and you're like, I don't work nights, I'm a family guy, whatever, then you're going to have to figure something out. But think about this. What percentage of people close after you leave? Like, if you don't close the deal on the spot, and if you don't know the answer to this, start tracking it and just track it for the next month and see how many people you actually close after you don't leave with a check that first time, right? And you'll be surprised at, when you pull this lever, how much more money is going to come into your business, because you guys are leaving a lot of money on the table. And because of what's happening in the economy right now, leads, in the past few years, leads were great, but you didn't care if you closed 20%, 30%, 40%, didn't matter, because you knew more leads were coming next week. But now the leads are like gold, and you're going to have to like treat everyone like this little precious jewel, right? That can't be lost. You've got to maximize your ability to close deals on the spot. And then the third lever that I'll leave you with is leads. So, and you're thinking, well, how am I going to double my leads? How am I going to increase my leads when it's a shrinking economy? You're talking about having less leads. Well, one that our guest today, Donovan, he's good at is content. So how often are you posting on social media? What is your messaging? How often are you reaching out to referral partners? Like, what content are you creating? How urgent are you at getting your message out there, right? So before we have Donovan on, I want to talk about just a quick scenario, how we can pull all three of these levers, and we can literally increase your sales in this example that I put together by more than double, by more than 134% increase. So let's take an average landscape lighting company, 30%. And this is based on me gathering data from just talking to hundreds of people, right? Let's say your average closing rate is 30%. You're selling landscape lighting at $250 a light, and you're getting 4 leads per week. Okay. That's kind of an average. That's an average of what I'm seeing out there. Your average job is about 25 lights. So that's you now. And now we're going to pull some levers. So right now you're getting 16 leads a month. Then if you're closing 30%, that means you get 4.8 jobs. We'll even give you the benefit of the doubt and round up 4.8 to 5, because it's impossible to have 0.8 customers. So you get 5 customers, 25 lights on average at $250. So your average job is $6,250. You get 5 jobs in the month, and boom, you're at $31,250 for the month. Not bad, not good. It is what it is, right? Now let's pull some levers. One lever is price. So we're going to increase your price by 10%. If you're afraid of that, then we need to talk, because if you can sell something at whatever you're charging now, you can raise your price by 10% and you're not going to lose any customers. So increase your price by 10%. Now you just made an extra $3,100, 10% of 31,000, right? So now instead of 31,000, you're at 34,375. That's not bad. That's free money. You just made up $3,000 out of nowhere, right? Well, you had to listen to the show, but there's value here, right? Now we're going to pull another lever. You're going to increase your closing percentage from 30% to 45%. So what that does for your business is huge, because now instead of 5 jobs, you're at 7 jobs. Okay. So you close an extra 2 jobs, which again, these leads are like gold right now. Now you went up to 48,000 for the month, 48,125 for the month. These 2 very, very small changes, and you've already added 54% to your revenue. What other levers can you pull in your business that makes it so easy? Like, a lot of people are like, well, maybe I'll spend more in advertising. Like, no, like, you've got this bucket right now with tons of holes in it. Leverage is filling these holes, right? So are you guys seeing what leverage can do for your business? Like, this is going to be the most impactful thing that you can do over these next couple of years. Now we're going to add maintenance plans, and maybe you're already selling maintenance plans, but you got lazy and you forgot, whatever. So now we're going to sell 5 of those 7 jobs, a $600 a year maintenance plan. That just added $4,200. So now we're at $52,325. Check my math. Now we're going to add a premium value offer, PVO, and that's going to get an extra 25,000 instead of a $6,200 job. We're going to sell a $25,000 job because we're offering it. A lot of people aren't offering this, but you'll be surprised when you put it out there. There will be people that take it. Now we're at $77,000 for the month, you guys. That's a 134% increase in sales. When you do the math on that, that's over $40,000 a month increase, which times by 12, that's 480,000. That's a $500,000. We just literally made up a $500,000 worth of revenue. Are you seeing like the power of leverage? This is the magic sauce. This is the secret sauce right here. By the way, we didn't even get into referral partners. We didn't get into pulling the client referral lever. There's other levers that you can pull in your business that is like, you can create money, you can create wealth. So, and these other levers make these few that I just went through seem small, to be honest. Whew, that was kind of a lot. I have all this like mapped out in my mind. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to do this. And I don't know. It might be better on a whiteboard or a YouTube video, but are you tracking me? Are you feeling it? Does it make sense? Put it into action, guys. Don't just listen to this. Write this stuff down. Figure out what levers you can pull in your business and write down on paper, because it's exciting when you're like, wait, if we increase this, like this one movement gives us 5 times results, right? That's what it is. But it's like reading a book. It doesn't do anything if you just listen, right? You got to go implement this in your business. So go figure out what levers you can pull inside your business. All right, guys. I hope that makes sense. It felt like a mouthful saying it. Like in my mind, I was like, this is going to be magical. I'm going to help so many people. I'm hoping that I did a good job delivering that for you guys. If not, reach out. I'll help you guys out. All right. So I think it's time. Let's find some buttons. You guys ready to get our guest coming on? I think it's time. I'm getting excited. What is up, Mr. Donovan?
Howdy, howdy.
Welcome to the show, man.
Wow, this is like a professional setup. There's intro music and everything. I feel appreciated. This is awesome, man.
We appreciate you, man. I'm glad you feel appreciated.
You talked me up about having all this energy, so I gotta like get a little bit of coffee. I was like, you have good content, but I'm like falling asleep over here. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna like misrepresent Ryan Lee. I can't do that.
Falling asleep during my monologue, just what I wanted to hear. So, well, it's 5 o'clock. So, you know, you've had a long day over there, and it's okay. You're human. You don't have to be on all the time. That's okay.
Yeah, you know, I will tell you, man, when I first started my business, I had the theory that you should always be happy, you should always be positive, you should always be high energy. And I tell you, man, if you're adopting that mindset, you got a big crash coming in your future. Some days you just have a bad day, right? That wasn't today. Thank God that was not today. Yeah, we're getting in the middle of our busy season, and it's just a lot. I mean, kind of like you. You're like, man, I got to fly here. I got to go there. I got to teach this. I got people calling me. So we're all in the middle of our busy season. But I like it, man. I like that productive type energy.
Yeah, well, you're an entrepreneur. You're addicted to this type of stuff. So, whether you like it or not, at this point, you're in it. So here we go. Well, I'm excited to have you on. It's been a long time coming. We've done some trainings together. We run into each other at different places. I can't turn on social media without seeing you. And to be honest, like, I love what you're doing. I mean, I don't always have time to like watch all your stuff, but when I jump on and I have a few minutes, I love it. And I get value out of it. You know, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like, wish I could have like come across this stuff when I was like in the trenches of my business, you know, like,
right.
You got that attitude of like the servant attitude, and you know, you're preaching to yourself 5-10 years ago of like, here's what I wish I would have done, like all this stuff. So I wanted to have you on here, honor what you're doing, kind of pick your brain a little bit, and see if we can get some value to our audience. So thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Let's get, I don't know that I know where you got your start. I was reading in your bio that you were like you were young or whatever, but like, how did you get started as like, okay, I'm gonna do my own business thing?
Well, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, so
Okay.
you know we had some successful businesses growing up. We had a bankruptcy, so I kind of experienced the highs and the lows. And for me, it was just natural. I remember actually when I was a little kid, they had you do those fundraisers at school. I'm always like the top seller, go door to door, whatever. And like this just fits my personality. I came up with the idea. I was like, if I wear roller skates, I can get between door to door quicker. And that was just always like my thing. My best hustle. And some of y'all can still do this if you need to hustle up some cash, you don't mind getting arrested. What you can do is you can buy state fair tickets. Like if you buy it before the fair comes in town, you get them at half price. And then you go to the end of the line because the line's like 30 minutes, an hour long on busy nights, and you start selling tickets for full price at the fair from the back of the line, working your way up towards the booth. Now they don't like it, but when you're like 9 years old and you can run fast, I'd like bringing $1,000 a night, like scalping tickets at the state fair. So
So good. Is that, we all have like a backup plan where like, if my current thing doesn't work, is that what it is? Like I'll do the state fair.
No, my backup fan is OnlyFans. It's going to be Amish Dawn, right? So I'm already growing out my beard,
Okay.
and yeah. So if you guys ever type in Amish Dawn into OnlyFans and you see a few pictures pop up, you'll know that business isn't going too good for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you do better at this whole state fair thing. Back of the line. Yeah.
Probably, right?
I mean, it's worth a try. There's some freaks out there. So,
Uh,
well, that's cool, man. So what did it's interesting because it's weird. I grew up like with the same mentality. Like I was shoveling walks. Like I wanted to earn $25. I don't know why. Like I didn't have like because I want to buy. So it just felt good to like be able to like, dude, I earned that.
yeah, and I think some people forget that like that's the basics of business, and I think maybe at our level we forget. Hey, we kind of started that business owner mindset when we were like 10 years old. And there's some people out there that have like worked a job their whole life. Man, there's so many lessons I learned. I rake leaves. I did this. I remember one time I was raking leaves for a lady and we charged her like $25, and we would split it between me and my friend or whatever. And then one day or one week, he wasn't able to help me, and I go and I rake the leaves myself, and the lady says to me, "Oh, I can't pay you the 25 because it's only you." And I'm like, whoa, wait. I just did all the work myself. And you're saying that you're only going to give me like $15 because there's only one of me? And so, little things like that. So you learn to always establish price before starting a job, and little lessons like that. But yeah, I love those things, man. I absolutely love them. I grew up, I cut my teeth on it. But, I tell everybody that my dad has more degrees than a thermometer, and he put himself through college by cleaning windows. And even he's a self-taught computer programmer. He'll go out and make six figures like computer programming contracts and stuff even now. And but he's always had like a little business outside of that in case he got laid off or whatever. And for me, it was just kind of second nature to just go out in high school, hustle up some work. And then after high school, I was like, I'm making like $100 an hour average. It was like 15 years ago or something. I'm like, why am I going to go get a job, or why am I going to go to college? I probably could have learned a lot, maybe going to business school, or because there was no YouTube University, there was no lighting for profits like 15 years ago. So it's just like, go out, screw it up. Hopefully you learn from it, try again. And there was no like little side hustles where I could just, I need an extra couple $100, so I'll just go Uber and I'll go Lyft or, something like that. It's like, if I wanted to go out and hustle up some work, I had to like build a business so I could hustle up some work. And that's sort of the avenue that I went down. And my dad never turned it into having a bunch of employees or a warehouse or a bunch of trucks or anything. And I just decided to do that. And, today I still have that first business, that window cleaning. We also do gutter cleaning, power washing. And then seasonally we hang Christmas lights, right? That's what everybody knows me for. And then about 3-4 years ago, we just saw a need for, helping those Christmas light installers. So we started Christmas Light Contractors. And yes, I'm a co-owner with Fred Zimmerman. And so about maybe 3-4 years ago now, we started that company. And holy cow, man, all the lessons that I learned for the previous 10-15 years, we applied it to that one. And this business has just blown my mind where it's taken us.
That's so cool. So you actually mentioned a lot of things I want to pick apart a little bit. All these lessons and stuff that you learned, like trying to grow. And then now, like, I think a lot of people see like your success. We'll use you as an example. and they're like, like it seems kind of easy,
Yeah.
I don't know if it seems easy, but it's like, you seem like a normal guy, relatable. Like if Donovan can do it, like why can't I? But I think that people do miss it. There was a journey there. Like it's like the definition of like a, a 15-year overnight success.
Right.
You had to learn a lot of shit through those other businesses that now you're like, mental note, like if I start my next business, I'm not going to do this. And now you're getting to do it, and you're getting extreme traction, extreme momentum in ways that you didn't before. That's powerful.
Yeah, and I would say like, this is the first partnership that I've had that's been successful. I don't know if you've had partnerships before, but man, those are tough, right? Those are extremely tough, and they usually fail. I ran a construction business there for a while, and the lesson that I learned there is like, man, I'd lose less money, and I'd have less of a headache if I paid somebody to just hit me in the head with a hammer all day, right? So that was a failed partnership, and different. Yeah, you try different little things, or maybe you try a little service here, and it doesn't quite, it doesn't quite work out. But what I will say is you alluded to it earlier. Over 15 years, you can start seeing some of these economy trends, or just some of the different trends when it comes to like hiring or leads or something. And I think you hit the nail on the head right now. If people aren't talking about it, they probably should. About the economy, I'm calling it drying up. Right. And we're not going to make this political, but, when there's free money out there for individuals and businesses and stuff like that, you're right. I mean, as long as you got a pulse, you can close a job. And what I find funny is that it was really difficult to hire good quality people. Well, now, even in the last 30, 60 days, I'm having quality interviews, but the leads, it's much harder to get. So these things just come, they're cyclical, and they come in waves.
Yeah, there's always something. Well, one of the common denominators that I see in successful people, and you just talked about how you had failed businesses, you had failures, you had things that didn't work out quite the same way. You were willing from a very young age to just take risks, take action, willing to fail. Yeah. I'm the same way. Like, and too many people are worried about, well, let me do this the smart way. I'm going to make a plan. We're going to perfect it. It's like, dude, by the time you've done that, there's people that have tried things, failed, iterated 4 or 5 times. So they're that much further ahead of you. And I've always liked that. I'm willing to fail. Even when I launched this business, Lindsay will tell you, I thought there was going to be 2 people that were interested in landscape lighting business coaching, because I just had these false belief, and I'm like, screw it. I don't care. I'm willing to do it. And if it doesn't work, then I'll go sell tickets at the state fair or whatever, like.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm willing to fail. Like, I'm always willing to fail.
Yeah. Having that high risk tolerance. What I will say is that it needs to be manageable. The one, and I'm not the guy for caution. I am not. Like, anybody who ever see me, I'm just like,
are you about to teach us about caution?
I am. The one thing that I will say is don't make any moves right now that put the whole company at jeopardy. And that goes for everybody, because, you just came off of 3 years of just like, it's stupid easy to get business. And so don't go and buy, $500,000 worth of equipment on jobs that you don't have sold, or you know what I mean? Like, don't go make moves right now that if it doesn't work out, the whole company will be in jeopardy. And from like a product standpoint for us, like, we're watching sales come in and we're predicting our growth. Like, our growth rate has been tremendous, but we're not banking on that same growth rate. Like, and I think people just they have to take risks, but it has to be smart, to get started. Yeah. Jump all in. But I'm talking like maybe some of the established companies, right? Don't make these big, huge moves right now that if it doesn't work out, the whole company might be in jeopardy.
Very well said. That's great advice, because there is a timing to it, and this is not the time. You feel it, it. I know it. A couple years ago, when things are hot, and you can afford to throw like, $100,000 at some equipment or inventory or whatever. If it doesn't work out, well, you've still got, 60 grand in the bank. That's one thing.
Right.
But there are guys that go crazy, but for the most part, I see people dabbling,
Right.
And so when I talk about risk, it's like, maybe it's a little bit different. It's not necessarily always financial, but it's like
a analysis paralysis, right? They're thinking about so much, trying to get it perfect before they get started. No, my advice there would just be get started, right? For sure. Just get started, and go sell that first job, right? Whatever that may be, go sell that first job. And maybe you're like Philip Ambrose, that you're like second or third job's a $30,000 job, right? And it's like, holy cow. I mean, if he would have just had that, he's like the definition of, I'm going to take calculated, I'm going to gather information. I'm going to take some calculated risk, and then I'm just going to do it. And I would say, like, taking action is the step that a lot of people miss, or maybe even like when it comes to the sale, like people do their whole presentation, then they never ask for the sale. It's like that one little thing that they're missing. Maybe jumping in, getting started, or maybe like asking for the sale. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah, I like it. Philip is just a great example of someone, like, I remember being at the training with you guys, and he's, asking questions and so engaged. And like, that's the type of mentality of like going all in, instead of like, go hang out with some at an event and network, and it's an excuse to not work. Like, it's a different mindset for sure. So yeah. When did you get into holiday lighting?
I want to say this is my 5th season. So I'm going on 5 years. My experience before then was just more of like handyman type stuff, where I would hang customers' lights and not really do it as a professional service. Fred Zimmerman, my partner right now, he said, "Hey, Donovan, look, if you can clean gutters, you can clip lights on them and make a whole lot more money." And I was like, "Bro, I'm too busy." He's like, "Just do it a little tiny bit." And I had a client, 10 o'clock at night, off of a Facebook post, like, pay a deposit after messaging me for 5 minutes on a $5,000 job. And I was like, holy cow, I'd never closed a $5,000 job before in my life. Like I might just, I wouldn't pay somebody $300 to hang lights on my house. Like, I don't, like, my brand new house, I don't have lights up on it yet. Like, I'm sorry, Ryan Lee, you'd be so disappointed in me. Like, I have all this nice architecture and all these nice.
Your house is dope. Yeah, your house would look sick with some lights.
Zero lights. So we'll have to do a training or something out there, and I'll make some people put up lights, and we'll call it training or something. But
are you so expensive you can't even afford it yourself? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what it is. I'm just like, I ain't paying for that.
I love it. That's my kind of business plan. I bought chickens for like $2.50 each instead of buying grown chickens for $20. I'm like, man, they'll grow in 6 months. Like, I ain't buying $20 chickens. That's just who I am. But there's customers out there that refuse to purchase the low end, right? And so about 5 years ago, Fred made me start hanging lights, and thank God he did. And then I fell in love with the industry, and I learned like premium pricing. And since then, I applied that to my other businesses. Everything we do, if I hear somebody's more expensive than me, then I'm raising my rates. Like, I am going to be the most expensive person in my area on principle now. And we're just going to provide more value. So yeah, that was. So when you do that, like you said, you're all about premium pricing. How do you add more value? Because I think there is a misconception. Some people are like, I can't charge that. It's like, you can charge whatever as long as your price is here and your value is here, you can actually charge whatever you want. But what are some examples that people can have? Because a lot of times people think, oh yeah, I heard Donovan talk about raising your price, so I'm going to do that. And then they're charging crazy amounts, but they didn't really add the value. And then they have a problem with like referrals, repeat business. Like, it doesn't work for them because they didn't hear the value part.
Well, I think you have to take like what I just said about being the most expensive and apply that to every area. For me, it's about being amazing. Okay. Like, and when you answer the phone, be amazing. That means that you need to pick up. You need to have somebody available to answer the phone. You need to be knowledgeable. You need to have staff, right? Show up on time, right? I never show up on time. So I hire people who are always early. If I don't show up, I don't book appointments for myself because I won't be there on time. Quality control. There's a lot of people that I don't know why they refuse to do a maintenance plan. Well, for like landscape lighting or something like that. Okay, well, in 2 years, your lights are going to look like crap because they've all fallen down, the dog strip. So that right there, by you not providing that solution to your customer, you're now devaluing your service, and your lights are going to look like crap, and they're not going to recommend you to anybody. There's little things like that. And I think it's a matter of be amazing at everything you do. take amazing photos, communicate. I think if one thing will set you above probably 98% of people out there is communicate with your clients. Like, I have found that clients don't really care when you screw up, or they don't really care when you get delayed, so long as you're proactive about communication. We got a permanent lighting job going up tomorrow that was supposed to go up like a week and a half ago. But the stuff didn't get here in time. Then the next day we had a weather delay. And so this was a customer of mine who had paid us in advance for temporary lighting, but then a trim light salesperson got a hold of him, and he almost signed the contract with Trim Lights, and he told me he's going to have to cancel his temporary lighting this year. I said, no, we got a much better solution for you. We come in at a great price. It'll be a little bit more expensive, but it'll still be a great price. It'll be a much better quality product. I went out, I met him, I all steps. So he canceled his contract with Trim Lights. He decided to go with us. And then he's been very patient and very excited about the whole thing, because throughout the whole process, we've communicated with them, even though it hasn't been a perfect process. So I think that is one thing that people can do. Don't ghost your clients. Don't ghost your employees. And if you just do that, you're automatically better than probably like 90% of the businesses out there.
I agree. People get so busy that they forget to follow up. I remember following up with people, and even if I was busy, I was like, I had to follow up. And people would be like, oh, man, like they would answer the phone like that. I'm like, what? Are you that excited to hear from me? And they're like, well, truthfully, like, we really liked you. We wanted to go with you. And then you told us your price. And we were like, that sucks. So we were trying to not go with you because of your price, but you're literally the only guy that like follows up with us. And so, like, people will go with you, like, even if they don't want to, because of your price. And they know, and then you get value, and they're like, man, we're really glad we did this. And of course, you're a good example. One thing I do like about when you just gave like a real life scenario. I think that's cool, because you're really active on social media. If someone just shadowed you literally online, they can learn a lot, because you're talking through like, hey, here's what's going on, current environment. Here's how we dealt with this problem. My guys screwed up on this. Instead of chewing them out, I approached it like this. Here's how we dealt with.
Oh no, I chewed them out too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that was another video. But you're really good at just like, I mean, dude, if I'm starting a Christmas light company or permanent lighting and I'm shadowing you, like, you have all the answers. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, here's our theory at Christmas Light Contractors. Our theory is that we're going to provide as much value. We're going to help the brand newest installer be successful at every level, right? And so we're going to help people at every level. Well, whether you're brand new or you grow with us at CLC and you need to get to the point where you need $1 million worth of inventory, like, we're going to have a good solution for you. But our thing is, like, look, provide value, like, provide high value. And when you grow as a company, obviously you'll give us business back. So follow us on social media. People can find us at Christmas Light Contractor Facebook group. It's an open forum. We go in there and we talk about landscape lighting. We talk about permanent lighting. We talk about Christmas lights. And it's geared towards helping the brand newest person. So
that's awesome. We had Mike Amador. I had to look up and see who it was, because it was showing Facebook user. But Mike Amador said you motivated him to start a Christmas light business. Then he got momentum from that. He came to Landscape Lighting Live. He was here in Utah with us, hanging out. Shane Miller just sold his first permanent lighting kit that he got from you guys today. So that's freaking awesome. Good things happen to those who work. You know what I mean? That's awesome. So let's talk about maybe some struggles. Like, what do you think is the hardest thing right now for you running your business? Businesses.
Well, 30 days ago, I would tell you it was employees. But literally, I see that change in the last 30 days. It was a huge struggle retaining quality people, right? Or people that were motivated. In the last 30 days, I've literally had 2, 3, 4 people come up to the shop looking for work, like not even off our Indeed ads or anything like that. Like, good quality people with a lot of experience. I think the biggest thing right now is going to be, like, let's take Christmas light industry. It's going to be your leads, right? I think what has worked for people for the last 2, 3 years to generate leads is not going to work right now. Facebook ads, it's flooded with Christmas light people doing 1 million ads on Christmas lights. I think if people are lazy on that, that's going to be a struggle. my biggest struggle right now for me personally is company culture. And that's just me personally, right? So I think, industry is leads, but me personally, man, when I come in, like I'm in GSD mode. You know what GSD mode is?
GSD.
Get shit done, right? And so when you come in like a hurricane and you're just like lining off things that need to happen, your people are like deer in headlights and they're not quite prepared for it, or maybe they don't quite match that energy. And I'm just like, get it done by Friday or find a new job, Maybe that's why I had employee trouble earlier. I don't know, but
I see a trend here. I see what's happening.
Do you see a trend?
See, he just helped you. Like it was an intervention.
I'm halfway joking, but I think when you grow, you get complacent with your customers, or maybe even complacent with your people. Maybe I've been married coming up on 9 years. We're having our 4th kid in about a week. And, what would happen if I get complacent in my marriage? Well, we might be okay for a couple months, maybe even until the kids graduate from college. But then what happens, right? Well, it's called divorce. And, that's something that I don't want to happen. Like I got a goal to be, not talking down about anybody, but, I grew up in a split family household, and I just had a goal, and my wife always had a goal, get married one time and stay together. So that's something we work on. Well, if something's really important to you, like getting clients is really important to you, I think that your client journey or your client experience, I think you'd put a lot of energy and a lot of effort into that. I think if your employees are really important to you, you'd put a lot of energy and effort into it. It's not that it's always perfect, but it's like you're thinking about it. You're coming in. I got a 40-minute drive coming into work today. I used to only have a 10-minute drive. So now I find myself in the morning, like, how can I help Kate today? Like, how can I help Maria? What's something that Ryan needs? Who did a really good job? Let me go get some cash. So I just leave an envelope for him. Like I'm starting to do things like that and just thinking about my people and my team, because my theory is if my team's rock solid, it doesn't matter what's happening with the economy, right? The people, whether it be clients or your team, is what's going to pull the business through. So I would say that's not really I guess it is a struggle, but it's something that we're focusing on right now.
No, that's actually a great answer. I wasn't expecting it, but I think for me, I didn't even know that you were supposed to work on company culture. It was like, I thought business was like, you have employees, they work for a paycheck, and then you go get customers. And like, I just had it so backwards. So
I don't disagree with you, but I'm coming to the light. You know what I mean? Like when people have fun, they're more productive. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
You've got your customers, your external, and then your team members, your internal customers.
Yep.
Dan Plata taught me this. What's an average lifetime value of your client? Like if I'm selling landscape lighting, an average job is 10,000. The average lifetime value might be 50,000, maybe 60,000. But the average lifetime value of a team member is
millions,
way more than that, right?
Yep.
And it's like, well, how much effort are we putting into it? And so I think it's smart of you to be aware of that, because it's a balance. Like we solve the leads problem, the sales, but then this problem. So it's just juggling it, make sure they do feel appreciative, because that is the dream team that's going to help you scale to whatever you're trying to scale to. So
yeah, and I think it's also like if we're going to provide more value to our clients and stuff like that, like why not provide more value to your employees? And I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that somebody working for me can go to somebody else in the industry in my area and get paid more money, or have more flexible hours or whatever, and the benefits that we provide. So
nice.
My theory is like, look, I don't need 1,000 people working for me. Like everybody else, how many people work for you? And I say as few as possible. Like I'm sorry, I don't need to have 50 people reporting to me. Like that's never been my goal. I'd rather have 2 crews bringing in $2 million a year than 15 crews bringing in $2 million a year, and I'm running a daycare. So my thing is like, I'm going to pay my people better, but also I expect a little bit more from them as well. And if they don't match that energy, then it's probably a better fit for them to go work for my competition.
Love it. All right. I want to give away some money. We do it we try to do it every show.
Can I win?
Yeah. But you just give like, it's basically just a trivia question. and the first person that answers it correctly wins. But so let's give our audience some time to win.
Oh,
It'd be interesting to know if you know the answer to this, because it's a landscape lighting question, but it's electrical. You may know it. I don't know. So let's do that. We're going to do this. Let's do the thing.
you better mute me. I'm just going to yell it out.
I'll mute you. Gift card giveaway. All right. It's everyone's favorite time of the show. Your chance to win free money for just being here. So, being here and answering the question. So here's the rule. You have to be the first person to answer it correctly. And so there's been arguments. Some even say fights about who responded first in the past. So it's who I think responds first. And if I think the answer is right, it's right. Even if you think the answer is right and it's right, it's still not right. So that's the only weird rules. So here it is. I'm going to ask the question, and then the first person to answer it correctly will win a $50 Visa gift card, courtesy of me. So, Donovan, are you going to write your answer down?
I already got it. The square root of 3.
That's close, but not even close at all. Write down your real answer.
Okay, I will.
Because that is kind of funny. We've had some guests in the past that guess, and like sometimes they like have no idea what they're talking about, and they like get really close. And then other times it's like, no, that's not close. All right, so here's the question. We're going to talk cable size here. What is the question? Okay. What is the maximum wattage rating of a 12-2 gauge direct burial wire? What is the maximum wattage rating of a 12-2 gauge direct burial wire? Now, people are already guessing. And if someone beats Brian Dank, we may even pay you extra money. We'll throw in an extra $50 because he wins like every week. What is the? Do you have your answer yet? Donovan?
I do have my answer.
And is this a guess, or do you know the answer?
Oh, I know. And is this the thing like Jeopardy? You got to ask a question to answer it, or you just give the how's that work?
Yeah, for you, that's what you have to do. That's not a normal rule, but for you, that's what we made up. So there's only one guess, and I have a feeling it's Brian, which I love Brian. I don't know why I'm anti-Brian on this show. It's just crazy how he wins every time. Brian, I love you. Okay, before we show Brian's guess, which is the answer, what do you say?
What is Ryan Lee's cable size? That's what we're talking about. Ryan Lee's cable size. I heard massive. That's just the rumor that I heard was massive.
Lindsay,
so,
is Lindsay here? Listen, I also have an OnlyFans backup plan. All right, we have the winner, and I looked it up on Facebook because it doesn't show his name here. Mr. Brian Dank, 240 watts. Somehow he's in my mind because I'm pretty sure he posted that before I even finished the question. So he probably hacked my computer or something. But dude, congratulations, Brian Dank. That guy is paying the bills with Lighting for Profits gift card giveaway.
I feel like if there's been so many consecutive weeks as a winner, there should be like a grand prize.
I know. I'm down to put that. I think he might just take over the show. Like he's like the new host. I'm down with that. He just takes over. But the reason I wanted to bring up this question is because, there's voltage drop and there's LED and all this stuff. And people are like, oh yeah, it's just easy. You just put on a bunch of lights or whatever. And the thing is, it is kind of hard to screw up a landscape lighting install, but people still do it. Right. And so you got to be careful. You can't just because a 12 gauge wire can support 240 watts doesn't mean you should put 240 watts on it for a couple of reasons. Right.
500 feet away. Yeah,
exactly. So you got distance. You've got also the 80% rule. So we try to not overload things. We don't even want to put 80. If we put 80% on 240, that means that you have 192 watts to work with. And people always add lights because lighting is addictive and they don't know what they're getting in the beginning. And then they want to add a bunch of lights. So if I was going to get close to that, I would put max at 150. Which if your average light is 7 VA, then you could technically put 21 lights on a 12 gauge wire as long as you're not going over 300 feet, So these things matter. and people don't really understand the relationship. So it's Ohm's law. Ohm's law. You get 12 volts, which we're using low voltage. 12 volts times 20 amps. 20 amps is how much amps that 12 gauge wire can support. 12 volt times 20 amps equals 240 watts. That's how Brian came up with it.
All right. Here's my trivia question.
Okay, let's do it.
How many amps? How many amps? Oh, you got to make the sound. How do you do the sound?
Okay. Oh, which the gift card giveaway one or the?
Oh, do I have to give away a gift card? I'll give away a gift card. I give away a gift card. All right, Ryan, you'll spot me, right?
Yeah, Donovan's going to give away a gift card that I'm going to pay for. So Donovan, you say gift card giveaway when it's time.
Gift card giveaway.
All right.
All right. On a SPT1 wire at 120 volts, okay, how many amps will that wire support?
This is good. We'll see if Brian can double up here.
Come on, man. Holiday lighting. Come on, Brian. Where's it at? Anybody guess yet?
Okay, we got one guess so far. Keep coming in, guys.
All right.
Dallas Roach guesses 2.
Oh, Dallas, no. And he came to my training. Oh.
Wait, we shouldn't. I won't say the name, and then you won't say if they came to your training or not.
Oh, hey, there we go. Jeremy Scott Murphy got it. 7 amps, right? So obviously we got distance that plays a factor, but for the most part on SPT1 wire, you don't want to go more than 7 amps for an SPT1 wire, which is an 18 gauge wire that has the coating on it. Yeah, even your SPT2 wire is still 18 gauge wire, it's just thicker insulation. So
all right, so I'm going to do this. I'm in honor of Donovan. Jeremy, shoot me a message. We're going to hook you up with a $50 gift card. We've never done that. 2 gift card giveaways in one session, and he beat Brian Dink. I mean, sorry, Brian.
Oh, the dink. There's a chink in the dink.
So shoot me a message on Facebook, Jeremy, and we'll get you hooked up. Well, that was fun, man. That was great. I didn't even tell you to prepare for this trivia question, and it worked out. So that's good stuff.
Hey, Ryan, man, anytime you need help spending your money, just let me know. I got you.
I know I had all these taxes this year. So, yeah, you guys have ideas on how I can spend more money. That would be good. We only got like 2 more months left. Love taxes if you're listening, government.
And we pay every dollar of them. Yep.
Let's talk about I want to talk about your trainings. I mean, you and Jason, like, you guys have unlimited energy, putting out tons of trainings. People love them, allows them to get started. Doesn't teach them everything they're ever going to know, and whatever. Like I tell people all the time, like, I'm going to teach you how to ride the bike, like, virtually, but when you go out there, you're going to fall down. You might even break your arm. Like, you might get hurt. Like, you have to go learn on yourself, but we can at least teach you these principles and stuff. So, but what can someone expect at one of your trainings?
Well, here's what I tell everybody, okay? Don't give me your money if you're on a tight budget. I'd rather you pay for some sort of mentorship or rather pay for some sort of advertising to get that phone to ring. So don't feel like you have to come to our training or you have to buy a starter pack or anything like that before you get started. So if you're on extremely tight budget, just know that in advance. So at our trainings, we focus on the practical and the hands-on. Like, in all honesty, for almost all residential jobs, you will never even, the entire home will be like 2 amps. So you don't even need to know the wire specifications and all that type of stuff. We'll go over it, but what we're going to focus on is the practical how to install, the practical how to charge, the practical how to handle. If you get 100 phone calls in a day times, 5 minutes of phone call, that's 500 minutes on the phone just saying, hey, this is Donovan with NC Christmas Lights. How can I help you? Right? And doing your little spiel. Like, how do you handle all that? So our training is very much practical, what you're actually going to use in the field. Do we go over like how to install incandescent lights and measure wattage? No, because nobody's installing incandescent. So I would say that's probably one of the differences. And if you use the product that we tell you to use and you install it and you quote it the way that we do it, you should 10x your training cost, immediately right out of the gate. And we do have some people, we had Sam up in Indiana that did $250,000 his first season. We got a handful of guys that do 6 figures their first season. But what we tell everybody is expect to come learn the practical, learn how to quote, learn how to advertise, learn how to start your business, get it off the ground and running, and you should 10x your costs of coming to the training.
At least. I mean, that's good for you to have something to say, but like, I'm like, yeah, you should do at least 10x.
Yeah. Well, like Dallas has already done that, right? He's already sold a few jobs, and I mean they've 10x their cost of coming, and the season, it's not even November yet. So, but I just want to manage expectations, right? But the biggest thing is, like, if you're just going to come and listen and not do anything, not take any action, like just watch a YouTube video, right? But if you're ready to pour gasoline on the fire, consider coming to a training, or like we did with Ryan Lee, is our advanced training, right? I mean, go ahead and get your business successful off the YouTube, or if you're part of Ryan Lee's mentorship or something like that, just learn maybe some of the practical, because he's already taught you a lot of the business, and then come to one of our advanced trainings once you've already had a little bit of success. So
nice. So when you're actually designing and installing, selling Christmas lights, what's your method? Are you trying to be like, I feel like there's like that decorator mind that's like, I can't believe these guys only do roof lines. And then the roof lines are like, why would you do that, man? I can knock this out in 10 minutes.
For sure.
Are you like, I want to be efficient in scale, or you want to be the artistic side, a little bit of both? Where are you at?
I think that's a personal preference, and go where the market isn't, right? So if everybody in your market, if you're in like DFW or whatever, and you got 1,000 people just doing roof line for $3 a foot, then go be the fancy guy and charge $12 a foot, right? So go where the market isn't. But what I would say is you need to sell whatever you're passionate about. So if you're passionate about efficiency and roof line or something like that, that's going to come across to your customer. And if you love doing wreaths and garland and making it look like a Hallmark movie, like, you're going to sell more of those jobs. So me personally, I don't like doing like unique. So I don't want to like build out wireframe displays and like a 3D map of building and have laser show. I don't want to do all that unique stuff. What I want to do is roof line, maybe some bushes, columns, make it look classy, make it look elegant, but we customize it to that building. So we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. So that way our installers can get efficient, but we're going to customize that to the building in front of us, whether it be a home or an office building or something. We're not going to do a whole lot of stuff that's one-off, like crazy RGB projects or anything like that. They're just not as profitable. But yeah, I like the classy, elegant Hallmark movie type look. And yeah, that's what we sell a lot of. Solid advice, man. That was great. Okay, so I had more stuff that I want to get to, but I literally am going to miss my flight if I don't cut this thing off. So let me give one plug for our website, right?
Yeah,
lights4sale.com. So lights4sale.com. You can get professional grade product there, and also 18 hours a day, we have a real person on that live chat. So if you go type a question into live chat, you're not going to get a little bot or some sort of dumb AI, which everybody's trying to do. It doesn't work. You're going to get a real person 18 hours a day for any questions. So yeah, everybody can go to lights4sale.com to get hooked up with product and check out the live chat if they need help with anything.
Love it. So lights4sale.com. Great company, great support. Check them out. And then Donovan, we'll have to get back on. Maybe we'll do a YouTube video or something where we talk about some more like permanent lighting, talk about more of some of your products and some of the things that are some of the trends and stuff like that. Cause I do want to talk more, but I just ran out of time. So great stuff, man. I appreciate you sharing your advice, your vulnerabilities and things like that. It's been great. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, you have an awesome week. We'll hang out next week and stay tuned for more gift card giveaways, maybe from CLC. So go check them out. Lights4sale.com. It's Donovan Quesenberry. Thanks, buddy. All right. Take care, guys.